Buckle up, because Bambi just shattered the silence, and her revelations aren't just jaw-dropping, they're downright explosive. Imagine finding out that the courtroom spectacle we all witnessed last week was nothing more than a carefully staged performance. What if the supposed victim wasn't as innocent as he seemed, but instead had been pulling strings from the shadows all along? Bambi didn't show up to play the role of the weeping witness. She came armed with truth. Bambi didn't just step into the spotlight. She came to shake the very foundation of the love and hip-hop world. This isn't your typical clapback. She's armed with receipts. According to her, Stevie J didn't just twist the truth. He may have flat-out lied under oath, dragging her name through the mud to keep his own secrets buried. And she's not keeping things vague either. She's calling people out directly, and one of the names she dropped? They were sitting right next to Stevie in that courtroom. This isn't your average reality show fallout. This feels like betrayal, wrapped in a full-blown conspiracy, and the stakes might go far beyond reputation. We're talking potential jail time. So before you keep scrolling, ask yourself, are you really ready to hear the truth Bambi was never meant to reveal? After months of staying silent while her name was dragged through the digital mud, Bambi has finally broken her silence. And what she just dropped? Let's just say the shockwaves don't stop at Stevie J or Mama D. Not even the court system is off limits. No one's safe now. By the time daylight broke, the situation had spiraled into a full-scale media eruption. This isn't just Bambi clapping back. It's an all-out war, and she's showing up with receipts that threaten to turn the entire story inside out. But before we unpack her bombshell claims, it's worth rewinding for a moment, because what we're witnessing might just be the most explosive reality TV fallout of the decade. What started as whispers turned into a full-blown storm of betrayal, deception, and deep-rooted scandal, one that no one saw coming. For weeks, the internet had a field day dragging Bambi, painting her as the villain behind Lil Scrappy's downward spiral. But now it looks like the real puppet master may have been lurking in plain sight. According to Bambi, Stevie J, already infamous for his messy history of industry drama, wasn't just stirring the pot. He was allegedly manipulating the entire narrative from behind closed doors, feeding false stories into court records, influencing testimony, and using his connections to paint Bambi as the villain in a twisted tale of lies. What started as a toxic family feud has spiraled into something far more sinister, with Mama D publicly bashing Bambi for months while cozying up to Stevie like he was some savior. But Bambi's silence, it turns out, wasn't weakness. It was fear. Fear of legal threats, gag orders, and a system she says was being rigged against her. And when she finally spoke, she didn't just speak, she came armed. Her team claims that Stevie J used backdoor channels to submit altered documents, including doctored text messages and fabricated conversations designed to portray Bambi as vindictive and dangerous. Some of those materials, they say, were never meant to see the inside of a courtroom, but somehow made it onto the official record without Bambi's legal team even being notified. While the internet roasted her with memes and viral hate, no one paused to wonder why she hadn't responded. Because in the court of public opinion, silence often screams guilt. But now that she's speaking, it's the internet that's stunned. She brought receipts, call logs, private DMs, screenshots, and at the center of it all was Stevie J, allegedly coordinating with others to shape the legal outcome. And among those tied to the scheme, Mama D herself, who Bambi claims helped craft the angry ex-wife narrative while keeping her own image squeaky clean. But the most damning piece? A leaked phone recording, allegedly featuring Stevie J saying, "We just need her out of the way so Scrappy can get full custody once she folds." If authenticated, that recording doesn't just suggest manipulation, it hints at conspiracy, obstruction, and grounds for a retrial. Social media went into meltdown. Bambi was framed, trended across timelines. Even celebrities weighed in. K. Michelle posted the alleged text screenshots, while Tamar Braxton called the betrayal criminal. Hours after Bambi's bombshell interview, Scrappy himself broke his silence with a cryptic post. Even if it crawls, the truth comes out. Subtle, but telling. As the dust settles, it's clear the narrative has flipped. Bambi, once ridiculed as a scheming ex, now stands at the center of what could be one of reality TV's dirtiest smear campaigns. And Stevie J. He might soon be answering questions not as a witness, but as a suspect. But Bambi wasn't done. Looking dead into the camera, with the same icy calm that rattled the internet, she dropped one more grenade. You want to talk? Lies? Let's talk about how Stevie J kept cameras out of the courtroom. Let's talk about sealed records that never should have existed. Let's talk about how I was silenced while he ruined my name. Whether you're Team Bambi or Team Chaos, everyone felt the shift. This wasn't just about Stevie anymore. This was a shot at the entire love and hip-hop machine. And when she mentioned NDAs, Twitter erupted. Was she calling out Mona Scott? Was this part of a deeper, darker machine? One thing's for sure, the silence from everyone else suddenly became deafening. What started as low-key online murmurs quickly erupted into a firestorm of deception, betrayal, and carefully orchestrated chaos. For weeks, Bambi was cast as the villain in Lil Scrappy's personal and legal unraveling, mocked, ridiculed, and buried under digital dirt. But now, the smoke has cleared just enough to reveal a much darker puppeteer behind the curtain. According to Bambi, Stevie J, already known for his history of controversy and reality TV mess, isn't just guilty of stirring drama. He was allegedly pulling strings from the shadows, planting falsified narratives into legal documents, shaping testimonies, and flipping the script to frame Bambi as the root of the chaos. What started as a family fallout quickly snowballed into something far more sinister, with Mama D loudly dragging Bambi in public while cozying up to Stevie like he was her knight in shining armor. But Bambi's long silence wasn't indifference. It was fear. Fear of being legally silenced, of backdoor deals, and of a system she says was bent against her. And when she finally broke that silence, she didn't just tell her side. She came with receipts. Her team claims Stevie J funneled false information into the court through unofficial channels, including doctored texts and fictional conversations designed to make Bambi look calculated and cruel. These documents, some of which weren't even supposed to be admitted, somehow made their way into the court file, bypassing her legal team entirely. While the internet clowned her, no one stopped to ask why she hadn't spoken up. Because in the digital age, silence is often mistaken for guilt. But now that she's talking, people are listening. Bambi's got the files, call logs, messages, and screenshots allegedly tying Stevie J to an organized smear campaign. And Mama D's name? Right there in the mix, accused of helping spin the image of Bambi as a bitter, controlling ex while keeping her own hands clean. But the most explosive twist? An audio clip allegedly capturing Stevie J on the phone saying, "We just need her out of the way so Scrappy can get full custody once she folds." If verified, it could flip this case upside down, pointing to not just manipulation, but conspiracy and obstruction of justice. The internet erupted. Bambi was framed became a trending cry. Even celebrities jumped in. Michelle reposted the leaked texts, and Tamar Braxton called the whole thing criminal. Then came Scrappy's cryptic Instagram story. Even if it crawls, the truth comes out. That one line? Heavy. The tide has turned. Bambi, once vilified, now stands at the heart of what may be one of reality TV's dirtiest setups. And Stevie J could soon find himself under legal scrutiny, not as a player, but as a suspect. But Bambi wasn't finished. With eerie calm, she stared straight into the lens and dropped one more revelation. Stevie J, she claims, used every trick possible to keep cameras out of court, to hide sealed files, and to silence her while publicly destroying her reputation. And when she mentioned NDAs, the internet lost its mind. Was she calling out Mona Scott? Was this bigger than just Stevie? Had the entire love and hip-hop machine been in on it? Suddenly, everyone else's silence spoke volumes. She dropped the allegation so casually, you'd think she was talking about brunch plans, not launching a verbal missile straight into the heart of an industry scandal. There was no grand build-up, no dramatic pause, just a calmly delivered statement. That hinted at a lawsuit. No paperwork was shown, no official confirmation followed, but it didn't matter. The streets ran with it. Social media exploded like wildfire, and fans didn't wait for receipts. They believed her off instinct alone. It wasn't just what she said, but how she said it, with the quiet confidence of someone who's been holding on to explosive truth for far too long. Stevie J, in classic fashion, attempted a rebuttal the only way he knew how, through a filtered Instagram post that looked more like a glam ad than a response to serious allegations. But the internet wasn't here for aesthetics. The comment section was a battleground, and he was the main target. Fans dragged him up and down, flooding the replies with clown emojis, snake gifs, and Bambi's now viral quote, "NDAs don't scare me anymore." It wasn't just a line, it had become a rallying cry. A symbol of defiance against a machine that many felt had silenced women like Bambi for far too long. But Stevie wasn't ready to fade into the background just yet. Doubling down, he released a video where he called Bambi a bitter liar and accused her of chasing clout because she was no longer relevant. His tone was dismissive, almost taunting, as if he believed he still had control of the narrative. But what he didn't realize was that the tide had already turned. The public wasn't siding with him. They weren't laughing anymore. The once charming, drama-stirring producer was now being painted as the puppet master behind a damaging smear campaign. Instead of silencing Bambi, his response only fueled her fire. It amplified the conversation, pushed more people to dig deeper, and reignited suspicions that there was far more beneath the surface. What was once dismissed as messy reality TV drama had taken a sharp turn into a conversation about manipulation, legal intimidation, and systemic erasure. And in the middle of it all stood Bambi, not as a caricature, not as a villain, but as a woman finally reclaiming her story. But then the real aftershock hit. A former franchise showrunner, let's call him Rico, popped up on an anonymous podcast and confirmed the existence of an internal blacklist. Not metaphorical. A literal list of cast members deemed too difficult, too vocal, or too unpredictable. And yes, Bambi's name was on it. That episode didn't just rattle love and hip-hop fans, it sent waves through the entire reality TV community. Rico explained how some women were pressured to fake drama, exaggerate trauma, or fight on cue, and if they didn't play along, they vanished. No send-off, no storyline wrap-up. The Reddit sleuths went wild. Comment sections became digital dossiers. Viewers started piecing together their own exposés, slowly realizing this wasn't just messy TV. It was a system designed to chew up emotionally raw women and discard them the moment they got wise. But this time, Bambi refused to disappear quietly. In a long-form interview with a major gossip outlet, she made it clear she wasn't playing defense anymore. She looked straight into the camera and said she spent years letting the public label her toxic, angry, and impossible to work with, when the truth was, she was trying to survive a rigged system. A system that didn't want her truth, only her downfall. She accused producers of paying Stevie J to villainize her, reshooting confessionals weeks later, scripting scenes to portray her as unstable, and when she tried to walk away. They allegedly threatened her with lawsuits. She stayed, she said, but only to protect herself. According to Bambi, Stevie was rewarded with bonuses for every cast member he could turn against her, every legal thread he could pull to smear her name. By the end of the interview, it was clear. This wasn't just a woman defending herself. This was a warning shot. The very next day, fans noticed something odd. VH1 quietly removed several old clips from their YouTube channel, specifically the ones where Bambi appeared unhinged or combative. And that same day, a gossip site broke news that Bambi's team was in secret negotiations with the network. But Bambi shot that down fast, posting on her story that there would be no deals, no silence. She was going all the way. Suddenly, social media turned into a digital courtroom. Fan pages were creating visual timelines, mapping out every key player like they were solving a true crime case. And then came the curveball. Lil Scrappy's cousin posted on Facebook, then quickly deleted, a story claiming that Mona Scott had told Mama D to keep Bambi on a leash, or else she'd be axed from the show. That reopened a whole new can of worms. Mama D, bombarded with comments, went live the next day, lounging on her couch, dog in lap, teacup in hand. Her response? She didn't deny a thing. Well, she said with a smirk, the devil's at the door now. And Stevie? He's the one who sent him. By the end of that week, this wasn't a storyline. It was a cultural reckoning. Think pieces were flying, petitions started circulating, and celebrities began chiming in. Amber Rose reposted "Toucher Free Bambi." Tokyo Vanity tweeted, "Now you know why I walked away. They profit off your pain and call it entertainment." Just when everyone thought Bambi had emptied the clip, she released a teaser for an upcoming documentary. The title, confessionals, emails, receipts. The tagline, "You watched the show, now it's time to see the truth." Within 48 hours, the trailer crossed 1 million views. Fans are already calling it surviving love and hip-hop, and you could feel the tension shift. This wasn't just about Bambi anymore. This was about an entire system that never expected its cast members to push back. But Bambi's voice, it didn't just echo. It cracked the foundation. Now the real question isn't whether she's telling the truth, it's how many others were silenced, blacklisted, or edited into villains for the sake of ratings. If even a fraction of what she's revealed holds up, then this is no longer just a messy reality show scandal. It's a fight for autonomy, dignity, and truth in an industry built to erase both. This isn't over, not even close. And if Bambi's got one more bomb to drop, the whole machine might just be in for a full-scale collapse.